Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmevi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. So while stating the Sangati or the connection between the previous chapter, the 6th chapter and the 7th chapter, the 6th chapter was devoted to revealing the nature of the absolute reality. The adjective absolute is used for reality simply because we also accept other levels of reality. Reality is one, but since we do not know the nature of that reality, we take as real what is ultimately discovered to be not real, but until then it remains real. And so, Vyavaharika Satta or relative reality, absolute reality, subjective reality. But the main theme, you said, is the Mahavakya, Tattvamasi, that thou art. That is a pronoun which refers to something that is remote. The pronoun this refers to something that is proximate, and that refers to something remote. Thou or you or I is necessarily something that is immediate. So I is of immediate experience or immediate knowledge to me, and I know myself. I cannot but know myself because the I is self-revealing. Therefore, it does not require any means of knowledge, it is just known, because to be known is the nature of the self. That's called self-revealing. Self-effulgent means that to reveal, to be known, is its nature. So I cannot but know myself, understand? It cannot be that I am not aware of myself in all my states of awareness. Which is a problem also, by the way. But anyway, the problem can be about something that I am aware of. Something that I do not know, I am not aware of, cannot be, I would have no opinion about that. About black holes and stuff like that, I don't know. But at least I did not know a few years ago. I had no opinion about that. Some new planets that they discover, Saturn, some new subplanets. Meaning those things don't count to me. What counts to me is what I am aware of. And the self or I is consciousness, and therefore it does not require any effort on my part to be aware of myself. I always know myself, I am always aware of myself. On the other hand, I think that what stands for pronoun that which is remote, I am not aware of it. Otherwise, we would not use the pronoun that which is remote. So these are the two entities in our life. Remember the story of 10th man yesterday. There are two entities. Which are the two entities? The person searching for the 10th man and the 10th man who is searched for. The seeker, 10th man, and the sought 10th man. It's very strange. The one who is searching for is missing 10th man, and he himself is that missing 10th man. So what creates a separation? Ignorance creates separation. Ignorance of the true nature of myself, that I am the 10th man, not knowing that I believe that 10th man is lost, and therefore I am searching for it. So this is called duality between the seeker and the sought. There are two 10th men. One who is the 10th man who is seeking, other is the 10th man who is sought, isn't it? Are they two? Until he is found out, until he is discovered, until then there are two. When the 10th man is discovered, how does he know? I am the 10th man. If the 10th man were true, there would be no problem. Just because there are two doesn't create a problem. But where there is one and thought to be two, that's where it creates problem. Or if there are two and thought to be one, also creates a problem. It is thought, it is notion, it is conclusion that creates problem more than the reality. Atma, self, doesn't create any problem. Ishvara does not create any problem. Nothing creates problem. Nothing in our life has to create any problem. By problem I mean nothing need to become a cause of sorrow or anxiety or fear. That's what we call problem. That there is a puzzle given to me and I have solved, that's not a problem. We call it problem, all right. But in our life, that's not the problem that you're traveling and you're searching for your destination and you are, looking at this Google map and this. That's not a problem. Problem is when you're the wrong way and thinking that that's the right way and you just don't reach your destination. It can happen. This fellow is in Chicago, a city in the United States. He has a map of Chicago. He has a very nice car, very well tuned up, and he's a good driver. Looking at the map and searching for a destination in Chicago. For several hours he goes around, doesn't find. Then the custom is to go to a petrol station, gas station. Where is this place? Where is this location? He shows map. Says, sir, you're wrong map. This is a map of Milwaukee. But on there is printed Chicago. Map is of Milwaukee, just another city. Now, can you ever find it? Can you ever find what you are looking? If you wrong map, you cannot find it, isn't it? If you have struggles in our life, it's likely that we have a wrong map. Unfortunately, we start the wrong map. What's a map? That I have to become something. I'm not all right as I am. I must become wealthy, I must become famous, I must become powerful, I must become so and so to be successful. That I must become something. That's my constant struggle of becoming someone else. I want to be like that person. So becoming is a problem. What do you want to become? Successful. What is successful? If you want to write an essay on successful, everybody will have a different essay, I guess. Anyway, what I'm saying is the so-called duality is a result of our conclusions or notions, which the Vedantin says is a result of ignorance, not knowing my true nature. I do not know what my true nature is. If I did not know, that would be no problem. I think I know, that's a problem. I do not know that the way I know myself is wrong, and I take what I think I am is right, and then that's how I live my life. I do not know that the way I think Bhagavan is or Ishvara is, that is not right, and I take that as the basis of my life. Wrong map, is it not so? Thus we are born with this conclusion of who I am and what Ishvara is, what God is, in search of God. So this is the basic teaching of Vedanta. That we have a twofold complex in our life. One is all kinds of complexes, notions arising about myself because I do not know what my true nature is. And I do not know that I do not know. And I do not know what the true nature of Ishvara is, who is very important in my life. So I don't believe in Bhagavan. Even that is also important. Don't believe also. Somehow Bhagavan has to be in my life. Whether I believe or don't believe. I don't believe in God. Which God you don't believe in? You have to ask him, which God you don't believe in? I don't believe in God with 4 arms and 2. It's all right. Everybody will say, I don't believe in God. Of some kind of a God that he has imagined that he doesn't believe. People, are raised with information about what God is and how he is, and I have some problem with God. Swami used to say that one of the people who have problem with God have problem with their father. Basically, his father in heaven. So many people have problem with father in heaven because they have problem with this father. And so, any father figure there is a problem. Sometimes mother figure, sometimes sister figure, some figure or the other. Depends on, how we are raised or born. And these problems remain in our lives. So Vedanta solves this problem. In one simple statement, that thou art. Hey, you are trying to become something in your life constantly. You want to become successful. And who doesn't want to be successful? We should become successful also. Except we should know what is the description of a successful person. And that's called Bhagavan, Ishvara, Brahman. You want to be limitless. We say it on the first day itself that I have problem with myself when I find myself the limited being. I don't have problem with myself, but I have problem with the limited I, or the I that I think is limited. Therefore, my problems are not based on the reality that I am. My problems and complexes are all based on what I think I am. Because I cannot accept myself as a limited being. I cannot accept myself as a helpless being. I cannot accept myself as a dependent being. I want to go to the camp, I could not go because my father says you. I can't accept that. My father said this, and my mother said this, and my son-in-law said, brother-in-law said that, mother-in-law, somebody said, and then prevailed upon me and I could not do what I want to do. I'm this going, anything that I want to do and I'm not allowed to do, that is helplessness. This helplessness I cannot accept because being free is my desire. I want to be free, and any time I find that there is an impeachment of my freedom, or encroachment, I should say, on my freedom. So a bound, limited, dependent, helpless I cannot accept. And that's what Vedanta says. Tattvamasi. Hey, you want to be free from all limitations. That's what you are. Tat means God. And God means omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, limitless in every way. That's what you are. You are limitless. Now, this statement will become relevant to us only when we recognize that being limited is my problem, and the basic problem and only problem in my life is my conclusion that I am limited. That's the only problem. Others are all situations. Because of this complex, every situation turns into a problem. I react to things that that I feel I'm controlled. I just cannot accept being controlled. Cannot accept being not accepted. Cannot accept being rejected, etc., etc. All of these arise from the sense of my being limited. So we should know what makes us sad. See, poverty is not a problem, it's a situation. So I don't have a house. It's not a problem, it's a situation. I don't have a car, I don't have a house, I don't have a flat, I don't have this, I don't have that. We appreciate, sympathize, we'll work with it, work at it. But that need not make me sad, understand? Nothing has to make me sad. What makes me sad? When I feel that I'm helpless. I don't have a house, so I'm helpless. I'm not married, so I'm helpless. I'm married, so I'm helpless. Whatever I assign as a reason, it is that sense of helplessness, dependence, limitedness. That is our problem. The more we recognize this, more easier the life will become. Then I'll stop blaming anything or anybody. What somebody does is trigger. They push the button. What's the button? I am limited. That helplessness button is pushed by somebody. Please bring glass of water. I'm sorry. What? A 5-year-old child, I say, will you please switch off the TV? Do I have to? Wow. I'm told like that. I'm told by 5-year-old child who, So that little thing can make me frustrated. I can't control him. I can't prevail upon that little thing. No, it is simply a situation that I said, please switch off the TV. He says, I'm sorry, I will not. So what's the big deal about it? That is not the cause of, but I am rejected. He disobeyed me. And I'm frustrated. I can't control this 5-year-old child. I'm frustrated myself. I'm helpless. The reason why I'm stressing this because to show that we have no other problem in life. That it is hot, it is cold, I am hungry, thirsty, these are, nothing is a problem. Nothing need to cause me sadness. Nobody need to make me sad. No situation need to make me sad. I'm enough to make myself sad. And this is the problem of sadness we talked about with Arjuna, and that's the sadness which will open even the 7th chapter, is what Vedanta solves in one stroke. Tattvamasi. You are limitless. You are independent. You are free. What free, Swamiji? I don't know where my next meal will come from. Still you are free. I don't have a house. You are still free. I don't have a car. I don't have this, that, or I have this, that. Both can be problems. Regardless of what the situation is, you are still free. Can you believe this? Can you imagine this? Let us think about this, at least that will give a lot of relief. That there is no reason for me to worry or blame anything or anybody. It itself is so comforting, is it not so? Vedanta is most comforting. But without doing anything, it can solve all the problems, because all problems are just created by us. Because basically, I am the problem for myself. So, Tattvamasi means that thou art. That limitless, that is called Brahman. And this they say in a very elaborate way, not just like this. They tell you a long story. What is that? The 6th chapter begins, the whole universe before its creation was Sat, existence, Brahman. And then starts telling the story that Sat, that Aikshara, it deliberated. It thought, may I become many? Bahusyam Prajaya, may I become many? And it created the element fire. So Brahman became the element fire. And then further deliberated, may I become water? Then that became water. Brahman, which was fire, became water. Then created earth. This Chhandogyopanishad talks of 3 elements, by the way. But we should understand 5 elements. The details are not important. And then these elements, they join with each other, unite with each other with Trivrit Karanam, Panchi Karanam, and the whole universe is created. That's not enough. Then comes the most fundamental thing. Then this Bhagavan says, may enter into that. Just enter business. Anene jivatmana anupravishya nama rupe vyakarvani. Enter all these 5 elements as the jivatma and then manifest them. This is all story, by the way. This happened, Swamiji? When did it happen? If you ask the date for this story, when did this happen? When did Brahman think that now let me create and then this? So when did this happen? Now I can tell you, but we should not tell this to the world that this is just a story. The Upanishad tells a story. For what? For us to understand our life. What is meant by that fire means this body, mind, sense complex is created. Having created that, then Brahman thinks that may enter this as Jivatma. He entered as Jivatma. So who is Jivatma here? I am Jivatma. Who became Jivatma? Bhagavan became Jivatma. You know what it means? It means that the one who thinks that I am so and so, I'm a karta, bhokta, doer, experiencer, seer, thinker, man, woman, father, mother, son, daughter. Who declares himself, herself to be this? Who is that one? That is that Brahman. Bhagavan entered here. So this is a way to tell you that you are not what you think you are. Brahman is entered. Brahman says, I am son, I am daughter, I am father, I am mother, I am happy, I am unhappy, etc. Who says this? One who says, I am so and so, you are, that is Brahman. You are Brahman. Who is you? I, who thinks I am a son, I am a daughter, I am a guru, shishya, happy, unhappy, etc. That is Brahman. How can it be, Swamiji? Look at yourself properly. I am the son. I am the father. Are you not? Yes, Swami, I am father. I am son. I am daughter. I am brother. I am sister. We already said, yesterday we said, I am is there and son is there. I am is there, daughter. Where is daughter? Daughter is here. This is daughter. And I am. So there is daughter someplace. Where is it? Here is a daughter. That is in this body. I am is in one place, daughter is in a different place. They are all joined. Like a billionaire putting on a costume of a beggar for playing as a beggar. Now he has entered the costume and says, I am the beggar. So all of this is being told to help us look at ourselves, look at our conclusion about who am I. That is very important thing to us. Every moment I always have a conclusion or an opinion of who I am. Very opinionated people we are. Judgmental people. This is, you should not judge. But we start judging. First judgment is about my own self. Don't be judgmental. But it is the nature of the intellect to judge. You know what is intellect? You know very well. Adhyavasa, atmika, antahkarana. It is that which always makes decision, judgments, conclusion is called buddhi. And so it is nature of buddhi to judge who I am. And that's what he says, you are Brahman. You are not what you take yourself to be. So son is separate. I am is separate. Daughter is separate. I am is separate. The daughter belongs to the costume. I am belongs to the actor. A Brahman is actor. Enter this costume. Like a billionaire actor entering the costume of beggar. So this is the teaching of the Upanishad and the teaching of the 6th chapter of the Chandogyopanishad. The process is, it starts with Tat and comes down to Tvam. It started the story that this is Ishvara, Sat, the whole universe was Sat before its creation. And then that Sat or Bhagavan or Brahman then thought that let me create, and created the whole universe of 5 elements and entered that universe. Universe means also this Upadhi. Entered the Upadhi. And now it's playing out as a Jiva. So that's Vedakatu. And so Father says, Tattvamasi. So the whole story of Tat is being told. How Tat is the Jagat Karanam, the cause of creation, Jagat Adhishthanam, the very limitless, which is the cause of creation. That's who you are. The same thing is told in the 7th chapter, but in a little different way. There is Tattvamasi here, Tattvamasi. So Tvam Tatasi. The way the 7th chapter goes is Tvam Tatasi. You can say one is a descending order, Tat descending to Tvam. The ascending order, Tvam ascending to Tat. So whereas the sixth chapter started with Sat or Tat or Brahman and showed how that Svetaketu is that Brahman, seventh chapter will begin with Tvam or Narada and to show that you are Brahman. So that way the seventh chapter has, even though the basic teaching is the same, it has something different to contribute. Because even though what is taught is the identity of Jiva and Brahma, the sixth chapter, the identity was taught by saying Brahman is Jiva. The seventh chapter teaches the identity by saying Jiva is Brahman. And that equation has to work both ways. Then the equation becomes complete. Another thing that they point out also, sixth chapter began the statement that Brahman is Sat, existence, and shows how existence pervades everything. Bhagavan is everywhere. Do you think there is Bhagavan in this one here, in this little pot? Can Brahman, Bhagavan be here in this pot? As what? As the pot is. As existence. But then, what does Taittiriya Upanishad teach us about Brahman? What is the Lakshanam of Brahman in Taittiriya Upanishad? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam Brahma. So Brahman can be known correctly and totally when you know it is Satyam, Jnanam and Anantam, not just Satyam. You should know Brahman is Satyam, as well as Jnanam, as well as Anantam. So therefore the Tikakaras point out, sixth chapter teaches Brahman as Satyam, seventh chapter teaches Brahman as Anantam or Anandam, eighth chapter teaches Brahman as Jnanam, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. So that is the sort of the background of the seventh chapter of the Chhandogyopanishad. And before we begin or read the first mantra of the Upanishad, let us also just briefly look at the ShantiMantra of this Upanishad, which belongs to Samaveda, which has its own ShantiMantra in the page number 2. So let me recite one line at a time, or one. Last page? Number 2 also. Page number 2. Don't have it? Oh, they don't have it? You see this cover and behind this cover. You don't have cover? You have? Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranas Chakshishrotramaso Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarod Anirakaranamastva Nirakaranam me astu Tadatmanirate Ya Upanishatsu Dharmaha Te Mai Santu Te Mai Santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Very good. Om Apyayantu Mamangani. Mama Angani Apyayantu. Mama Moksho Angani. The limbs of my limbs. Who am I? I who is Moksha. So this prayer is performed jointly by the teacher as well as the students. It says Mama. Whoever recites this prayer of that entity, the Guru or Shishya, Mama Angani, Angani limbs, my limbs, Apyayantu, Vruddhim Praptavantu. It comes from a Pyai Vruddhau, Apyayantu, Pyai, so Vruddhau, so Apyayantu, Vruddhim Praptavantu. May my limbs grow, well developed. This is not a child saying that may my limbs well develop, So what is meant by growing? Growing in strength? Well, in this particular instance, Brahma Dhyana Anukulataya Vruddhim Praptavantu. May my limbs develop, grow to become compatible to, fit for the knowledge and meditation upon Brahman. That's what a mumuksha student wants. A student is listening to the teacher, and teacher is unfolding the nature of Brahman, Ishvara, Atma. So the disciple says, may my limbs, and what are those limbs? Vak, Pranaha, Chakshuhu, Shrotram, Aso, Balam, Indriyani, Sarvani. He names all the limbs. Angani, Karacharanadeni, all my limbs such as hands and legs. Vak, speech, stands also for all the organs of action. Pranaha stands for all the 5 pranas. Chakshushrotram, the eyes and ears, which also include all the organs of perception. Sarvani, Indriyani, and all the 5 pranas. So all of these Apyayantu, Vruddhim Praptavantu, may they all grow, meaning that may they all become fit for Shravanam, Mananam, Vididhyasanam. That is what a mumukshu wants. That's what a student wants when listening to a teacher of Brahma Vidya. What the teacher is imparting is the knowledge of the scriptures. And as you know very well, this communication will take place successfully if the teacher is able to communicate properly and the student is able to receive it properly. So both of them pray for their limbs, meaning the whole personality, the gross and the subtle bodies, the body, organs of action, organs of perception, prana, the mind, intellect, all of these. We want them to fit in the sense of being alert, have a focus, have the right attitudes. Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyana, Yoga, Davehi. Teacher says, Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyanam. May you know this? So ideally, the student or disciple has the Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyanam. Shraddha, the implicit faith, Shastrasya, Guru Vakyasya, Satya Buddhyavadharanam. What the scripture says is right, what the teacher says is right. That kind of an attitude is called Shraddha. Not just make believe thing, that is how the mind responds. The teacher is able to inspire us. We are inspired by the scriptures, inspired by the teacher. Then automatically there is this attitude of a favorable attitude of receiving what it is that is communicated to us. Our mind doesn't question. Lord Swami, how do you say my problem? I am my problem? Can't be right. I cannot be problem to myself. Suppose this is the way the mind works. Teacher says something and mind revolts, doesn't accept. It can happen. That then the mind is not available to understand what is being communicated. To understand what is being communicated, there must be, the mind is favorable. And so, it has trust that what I am told is what it is. The teacher has no agenda. Scriptures have no agenda other than my well-being. So this is how we want our mind. We also want that our mind should be focused and not being distracted by a million other things. I want that I should be able to sit at least for 1 hour and not go up and down and I should be alert and not doze off, etc., etc. All of this is called for making this 1 hour session a meaningful experience for the teacher as well as the student. So we can see how many things are required for this to take place. And since we cannot necessarily guarantee that all of this will happen, we pray to Devatas, to Ishvara. Lord, please bless me. At least for this 1 hour, my mind is my friend. My body is my friend. My limbs also support me. The whole personality supports me. I am one with it. Apyantu mamangani Brahma jnana dhyana anukulataya. Let this upadhi be anukula, compatible, favorable for listening, for understanding, shravanam, mananam. This is one part of the prayer. Sarvam Brahmopanishadam. Sarvam Nikhilam Aupanishadam Brahma. Brahma Aupanishadam. Meaning Aupanishadam Brahma. Sarvam, whatever it is Brahma. What Brahma? Aupanishadam. Upanishad Ekgamyam. Brahman, which is, for which Upanishad is the only means of knowledge, which were known through the Upanishads only. This is Brahman. The whole universe is Brahman. But what Brahman it is, that is what the Upanishad tells us. It is the Jagat Karanam. It is the Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam, the material cause of the universe. It is the creator as well as manifest as creation. So what is this Brahman? But that Brahma is qualified, Aupanishadam Brahma. All this universe is Ishvara. Is Bhagavan, means it's all divine. Brahman means Ishvara, means all this divine. It's beautiful, wonderful. A miracle. Soul universe. Brahman, Upanishadam Brahma. Therefore, Maham Brahma Nirakuryam. May not deny Brahman. Maham Brahma Nirakuryam. May I not deny Brahman. May I not negate Brahman. May I not reject Brahman. What is this Brahman? And therefore may look upon what is as Brahman. Let that attitude be in my mind, that I respect and revere what is. May my mind support me so that I revere Brahman, that I have the Shraddha, Bhakti towards Brahman. May not reject, I don't believe in Brahman, I don't think this is Brahman. How can this be Brahman? My mind can come up with this kind of questions. In that case, mind is not ready to understand that this is Brahman. To discover, recognize that what is Brahman, first I must accept that it must be so, and then let me see how it is so. No, Swami, I don't believe this is Brahman. How can this Jagat, so much of suffering is there? So much of injustice is there. How can this be Brahman? I don't accept there is an order. Mind rejects sometimes. You mean everything is in order? Everything is all right? I don't accept it. Our mind sometimes revolts. But depends on what I have, how I think my life has been or whatever, and I have drawn many conclusions about what God is, what Ishvara is, what Jagat is, and when this is told, my mind may not necessarily support me. May not resist this, may not reject this. Pujya Swami would say that everything is in order. What do you mean it's in order? That's not my experience. Nothing has been in order in my life. A lot of injustice has been there in my life. And so how I have evaluated in my life, that's how I evaluate this statement, and that's why there can be resistance from my mind. You don't have it, but it can be. What I'm saying is that mind may not necessarily be willing or ready to accept what the Upanishad says. Maham Brahma Nirakuryam. That this is all Brahman, this is all manifestation of Ishvara. It's all order, harmony. It's all fair, beautiful. You say you are a beautiful, nice, loving person. Similarly, the whole universe is beautiful, loving, nice thing. What is meant by my mind being is it accepts this statement favorably. Yes, you are right. Oh, it is so. Or it is willing to accept it in case there is resistance in my mind. I'll question my resistance rather than questioning this statement. Maham Brahma Nirakurya may not reject Brahman. May not dismiss Brahman. May not disrespect Brahman. Mama Brahma Nirakarot, and may Brahman not reject me. May always enjoy grace of Brahman. Brahman rejecting me means that I don't enjoy the grace. May Brahman not reject me. May always enjoy grace of Brahman. May always accept Brahman and have that same right attitude towards Brahman and everything that is manifestation of Brahman. And also Brahman on his part, Lord, please bless me that, or you always bless me. That I enjoy your blessing, your grace. That are the right attitudes. That itself will solve 90% of problems. If thus we have this kind of a harmony with ourselves and Ishvara, you know what that harmony means. Then whatever Ishvara does is all right, because I have confidence that he is my well-wisher. Because he has no agenda other than just wishing well of me. No, Swamiji, Ishvara is punishing me. Why should he punish? Sorry, God is angry at me. He is punishing me for what I did in the past. Why should he punish you? What is he going to get out of that? Why should he be angry at you? Who can be angry? The fellow's problem is himself. That can be angry. Who will need to punish? I will get satisfaction or punishment when I am not satisfied with myself. You don't accept Ishvara to be unhappy with himself. You don't accept Ishvara to be inadequate. That's not Ishvara. Purnam, Ishvara is Purna. There is no lack, no want, no desire, no need, no demand, no expectation. Doesn't demand anything from me. That I must only do such and such thing in order that Ishvara accepts me. He doesn't have any condition. Unconditionally I am accepted. I should recognize it. It's not that he should not accept. Let me recognize that, Lord, you are unconditionally accepting me. Acceptance is there. It's for me to recognize. This creates so much comfort in the life. A lot of problems are because problems of Ishvara. My prarabdha is like that, my destiny is like that, this is like that. So may I not reject Ishvara, may Ishvara not reject. Anirakaranamastu. May there be always mutual harmony with Ishvara and myself. Tadatmani nirate upanishatsu dharmaste mai santu. Says avayo paraswaram pritirevastu. May I always have devotion for Ishvara and may Ishvara always bless me. Let that be the relationship with Ishvara and myself. Because Ishvara is what I want to know. And it cannot be that I reject what I want to know and then I hope to know something. When can I know something? When I am in harmony with that. When can I know something? When that something becomes favorable to me, blesses me, otherwise it won't reveal itself to me. You know how the knowledge takes place? It's not that I know something, that something makes itself known to me. My effort is in searching for it, deliberate upon that. That's I do. When knowledge takes place, how does it take place? That entity reveals itself to me. The tube light happens in my mind. Oh, that's what it is. So Newton he worked for 20 years. Oh wow, this is law of gravity. It didn't happen overnight. He deliberated for a number of years and then this occurred to him. How? That law of gravity blessed him. Ishvara in the form of that law blessed him. That's how he knew. Any knowledge takes place because knowledge is Ishvara. And knowledge can take place when Ishvara blesses me. In that way, in that form, what I want to know. So understand that knowledge can take place only when I enjoy blessings of Ishvara. He alone is everything, He alone is all knowledge. So let there be harmony with Ishvara and me. That always is favorable to me. So it's not I. When knowledge takes place, you know very well that jnanam is what? Vastu tantram, isn't it? Karma is purusha tantram. When it comes to karma, I am the one who decides. Kartum shakyam, akartum shakyam, and what to do, what not to do, how to do, I decide. When it comes to doing something, I decide what to speak and what not to speak. I don't, but suppose, that at least I decide to speak or not. Thus, karma is all centered upon or dependent upon the doer. But knowledge doesn't depend upon me, knowledge depends upon the object of knowledge. That decides what knowledge will take place in my mind. If it doesn't, then we have to investigate. So Vedantin says, Jnanam Vastu Tantram. The nature of knowledge is determined by the object of knowledge. So when will I know this spot? When this spot favors me, blesses me, becomes favorable to me, then it becomes an object of knowledge. Otherwise it won't. It sounds superstitious to you, but it's not so. Therefore it is important that what I want to know should be favorable to me, should bless me, should reveal itself to me. Yasya deve parabhakti Yatha devi tatha guru tasyete kathita hyartha prakashante mahatmanah. The last verse of the Shvetashvatar Upanishad says, Yasya deve parabhakti, one who has a supreme devotion to Ishvara. Yatha deve tatha guru, similar devotion one who has for Guru also. Tasyete kathita hyartha prakashante mahatmanah. Tasya mahatmanah ete kathitaha arthaha prakashante. In the mind of that Mahatma who enjoys that devotion for Ishvara and Guru, in that mind, the teacher says, what I said, those words will reveal themselves, the meaning in their mind. The words to reveal its meaning in my mind, then only knowledge can take place. That is why the favor of what I want to know is very important. That is Ishvara. And Ishvara is always favorable. What means Swami? Ishvara is always favorable. That's true. But I should be available for the favor, isn't it? It is raining, which is for everybody, but I hold my umbrella. So I am not enjoying the rain. Close your umbrella. See, those fellows are enjoying the rain, I am not. So when that umbrella is there of resistance, rejection, ego, meaning pride, etc., that becomes an obstacle. So what is meant by may I not spurn Ishvara is that in my relationship, then let there be no pride, no arrogance. Let there be surrender to Ishvara. And let Ishvara always favor me, become favorable to me, reveal himself to me. That's a very important statement. Tadatmanirate yo upanishatu dharmas te mai santu. Several prayers are involved here in this one prayer. This last part of prayer. Tat atmani nirate. Atmani brahma atmani nirate nirantaram prem kurvati mai. I who is devoted to knowledge of Brahman. I, the student says, who is devoted to knowledge of Brahman, or knowledge of the self. Ye Upanishatsu dharma te mai santu. The dharma, the virtues which are revealed in the Upanishad. Shanto, dantaha, uparataha, titikshuhu, shraddhavitto bhutva, atmaneva atmanam pashyati. Shanti, danti, uparati, titiksha, shraddha, samadhanam. So Upanishad talks about these virtues. One who possesses the virtues, Atmani Atmanam Pashyati. You see the self within oneself. So those virtues, may those virtues be in me. Or, broaderly, that's a sadhan, chatushta sampatti. Lord, please bless me that the viveka, vairagya, samadhi, shatka sampatti. Meaning, may I enjoy peace of mind, tranquility of mind. May I enjoy focus of my mind. May my mind have been free from distractions. So the student prays. Because all of these things cannot be taken for granted. They also require prayer, Ishvara's grace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Threefold Shanti. Three kinds of Shantis are there. How many Shantis are there? Three kinds? What are the three kinds? Adhyatmika, Adibhaudika, Adidev. Three Shantis are there or three obstacles are there? Threefold obstacles. Adhyatmika, Adibhaudika, Adidevika. Meaning, Shanti, peace of mind is what I want, but then my own body and my own mind can become a problem to me and disturb my peace, or the environment, or the devatas. Let there be peace, meaning that let there be freedom from the obstacles which can possibly arise from these three sources. May they not be there. So that's the prayer verse, typical of the Samaveda, and so it is chanted here in this beginning of the Upanishad also. But we'll continue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.